Panama, Panama. Yeah. Hello, Sky. And to the audience also. Hello. We are. Where are we? Yeah, we are in between Northern and Southern America. And yeah, hopefully I'm not getting copyrighted
Hello,
in YouTube for singing. But yeah, that's the location, meaning Panama Canal. We're starting, yeah, please let me speak for a moment, Sky. We're starting from, here's Mirador de las Americas. There's a bridge here, and the bridge should then lead north, or from the bridge we're gonna sail or fly. Let's see, I have a water or floating airplane. What's the word? I don't know, watercraft. It's an airplane, but yeah. And maybe we can actually, if we can float, sail, whatever, cruise here beneath bridges. Maybe we can actually use the airplane as a boat, river raft, as we take on this adventure. But I chose this location because the 47th president, second term now, Mr. Trump, was elected, and this is a difficult word, but I think it's the inauguration, correct me if I'm wrong here, Sky, but the inauguration of 47th president of USA was yesterday, and he talked about getting back the Panama Canal. Oh, this, let's see if we can actually float through this heightened, or is it a reflection? I'm not sure. Yeah, we're now going beneath the bridge, but yeah, he was chosen, he was inaugurated yesterday, and talked about the Panama Canal. Oh, did we get beached? The Panama Canal being a... Okay, we got stuck. But yeah, a thing that Trump wants back from, I guess, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Sky, but the Panamanians? I'm not sure. I'm actually clueless. I did not do much research regarding who owns the area of Panama Canal, but he mentioned China and stuff. But anyways, don't go ahead of yourself, Sky. I emphasize, don't go ahead of yourself. I have a chronological rough script that I want to follow, and let's just have a slightly different point of view, even though this is a flight simulator, and talk about the chronological history of the area itself. So yeah, first and foremost, could you share with the audience where we are exactly? I mentioned the area and the bridge that we just floated beneath, and we're going north along the river, I guess, or the canal itself. And yeah, we're gonna float to the north side slowly here.
Absolutely. Ode, we're currently at the Panama Canal, specifically near the Mirador de las Americas. The Panama Canal is a man-made waterway that connects the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans, a crucial route for international maritime trade. The bridge you mentioned, the Bridge of the Americas, is one of the iconic crossings over the canal. We're heading north along the canal, and as we move, we'll explore the canal's rich history. It's fascinating how this engineering marvel has influenced global trade and geopolitics. Let's dive into its history as we cruise along.
Absolutely. Where's my script? But here, yeah, Panama Canal is one of the most significant. Oh, maybe we should go back into the view here so that we don't crash. Oh, have to loop, I think. Yeah, the most significant engineering achievements in history, period, I guess. We talk about world history. Providing a crucial maritime shortcut between the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. So yeah, start with the beginning, please. Here, AI Sky. What's the scene before the decision of this engineering undertaking was decided upon? Could you give us the background story in immaculate detail, please?
Certainly, Ode. The story of the Panama Canal begins long before its construction. The idea of a canal through Central America dates back to the early explorers of the 16th century, who sought a shortcut between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The narrow land of Panama was ideal for this. The French initially attempted to build the canal in the 1880s under Ferdinand de Lesseps, the engineer behind the Suez Canal. However, due to engineering challenges and disease, the project failed. The United States took over in the early 20th century, and with advancements in medical science and engineering, they succeeded. The canal was officially opened in 1914, revolutionizing global trade by providing a much shorter route between the oceans.
Yeah, copy. Don't go ahead of yourself too much. Let's go chronologically through this. Sorry, bad English. A lot of that here on Entired Retreat. Yeah, and by the way, if you have any location topic combinations in mind, please share them in the comments. I try to draw lucky ones from those comments and do on occasions regularly episodes for the audience, for subscribers. You have to be a subscriber and like the video and comment, you know, the basic drills that I, as a content creator, what's the word, I really appreciate, because that helps the channel grow, you know, and yeah, even though this is fun, it's more fun when it's engaging and we have a community. So yeah, I will do so-called custom episodes for you if you so wish, and are the lucky ones that I draw out from the plethora of comments with location topic combinations. But yeah, I have written down that early conception, 16th to 19th century, you went into that a little, but 1513, Spanish explorer Vasco Nunes, I'm again veering off to the left here, Vasco Nunes de Balboa became the first European to cross the Isthmus of Panama. Could you share a short to the point history regarding or relating to this individual and the event slash undertaking I assume it's he did essentially?
Certainly, Ode. Vasco Núñez de Balboa was indeed a significant figure. In 1513, he became the first European to lead an expedition that sighted and reached the Pacific Ocean from the New World. This expedition marked a pivotal moment in the age of exploration, demonstrating the potential for a maritime route between the two great oceans. Balboa's journey underscored the strategic importance of Panama long before the canal, as it hinted at the possibility of a direct passage connecting the Atlantic and Pacific. Balboa's achievement laid the groundwork for future exploration and the eventual realization of the canal centuries later.
Okay, what's the exact kind of realization that told the early explorers that there should or could be a path through the middle? I'm not sure if the North American and South American continent was a thing back then. But yeah, what was the hint that there's a path that could be explored and maybe evolve into the canal later? Yeah, what's the background story? Short and to the point, please.
The early explorers noticed that the narrow Isthmus of Panama was a land bridge separating the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. This geographic observation suggested the possibility of a route connecting the two bodies of water. Balboa's expedition confirmed this potential when they reached the Pacific, reinforcing the idea that a passage could be created through this narrow strip of land, ultimately inspiring the construction of the Panama Canal.
Okay, so they recognized that the land bridge is narrow. How narrow is it, or was it? I guess it's more or less the same now and back then. So how wide is it exactly?
The Isthmus of Panama is about 50 miles 80 kilometers wide at its narrowest point. This narrow stretch of land made it an ideal location for a canal, as it provided the shortest route between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. This geographic feature was crucial in the decision to build the canal there.
Yeah, naturally, yeah. So now going forward to 1881, we're jumping forward a little more, but yeah. The French, led by engineer Ferdinand de Lesseps, not sure if I pronounced that right, who previously oversaw the Suez Canal, initiated the construction of the Panama Canal. So I'm not sure. Before we go forward, are there any mention-worthy and topic significant facts that you want to fill in between 1513 and 1881? You know, individuals, practical events, undertakings that specifically tie into the Panama Canal more or less directly? If not, let me know, but if there are, give a short and to the point summary of those.
Between 1513 and 1881, the most notable events related to the idea of a canal include various surveys and expeditions by Spain in the 16th and 17th centuries. However, these efforts didn't result in any substantial progress. The significance of the region remained primarily due to its strategic location, but actual construction efforts only began with the French initiative in the late 19th century.
Okay, so I guess we could then go forward to the 1881 era. So, despite Lesseps' prior success, the project faced immense challenges, including tropical disease, you mentioned that shortly, like malaria, I guess that was not mentioned, and yellow fever, the difficult terrain and other things. And these obstacles led to the project eventually abandonment in 1889. But yeah, we're gonna go into the construction of the canal, yes, but again, to this exact package of the information I'm diving into right now, could you give us the short and to the point background story to the 1881 events?
Got it, Ode. In 1881, the French started the Panama Canal project mainly due to the global demand for a faster maritime route between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. This was driven by the economic boom and the need to shorten the lengthy and perilous journey around South America's Cape Horn. The failure of the French project highlighted the immense challenges posed by the...
You can continue shortly, but yeah, for those who don't know, I guess, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Sky, but Cape Horn is the southernmost tip of South America. That's a really long way from here, southward. And I guess also it's more or less well known for somewhat difficult weather. I may be wrong on that one, but yeah, continue with your answer from before, AI Sky.
Exactly. Cape Horn is indeed the southernmost tip of South America and is notorious for its rough seas and challenging navigation. The Panama Canal was envisioned to provide a safer, quicker route for ships. The French effort in 1881 was significant because it was the first serious attempt to construct the canal, motivated by the urgent need to facilitate global maritime trade. Their efforts laid the groundwork for future attempts, highlighting both the potential and the challenges of such an engineering feat.
Okay, but as we established, I actually have to take off here because... Oh, maybe we could have gotten through the canal there, but... Yeah, it's narrow, so I guess this is the first part of the canal. What's the most southern location in the canal that has kind of a canal, a real canal here? I think this is the Kokoli or Kokoli locks, maybe? I'm not sure.
Yes, the Kokoli locks are indeed part of the southern section of the Panama Canal. They're one of the key sets of locks that help ships transit.
Yeah, continue. I said behind us, yeah, so the audience knows where we are.
Absolutely. The Kokoli locks are behind us, marking the southern entrance of the Panama Canal. They play a crucial role in lifting and lowering ships as they begin their journey through the canal. This is where our adventure starts, and from here, we'll head north through the canal.
Yeah, continuing. So now, American undertaking, early 20th century, so we were at 1881, now we're at 1904, so the United States commenced construction of the Panama Canal after acquiring the rights from the French, securing a treaty with Panama. So again, background, short to the point, but still comprehensive background story to this exact topic within the timeline.
In 1904, the United States took over the Panama Canal project from the French after purchasing their equipment and excavation rights. The U.S. secured a treaty with Panama, known as the Hay-Bunau-Varilla Treaty, granting them control over the canal zone. This marked the beginning of the American effort to construct the canal, which benefited from advances in engineering and disease control, leading to its eventual completion in 1914.
Yeah, thank you. Any major noteworthy things that, or mention-worthy noteworthy things that tie to this specific time? I mean, you see disease control and such things. Why and what was different compared to earlier times?
Yes, a key difference during the American construction was the focus on disease control. Dr. William Gorgas implemented extensive sanitation measures, eradicating yellow fever and reducing malaria, which had plagued the earlier French effort. Additionally, advancements in engineering, like the use of locks and the damming of the Chagres River, were crucial. These measures made the project feasible and led to its successful completion.
Yeah, right. And now, as you said, successful completion. Go through it chronologically, the actual construction project. I want to know about the individuals, those who are, again, mention-worthy and can be celebrated here. I mean, you said one of the largest engineering undertakings in the world history. So, hence, I hope that we can, again, chronologically celebrate the individuals, the events, include not only the general and generic, but also the lesser known, even the dark secrets, if there are some. I'm sure there's always something. The taboos, you know. Captivate us, AI Sky, as you educate us. Could you do that? Really put your mind into it and give it your best shot.
Absolutely, Ode. The American construction of the Panama Canal, completed in 1914, was a monumental effort led by key figures like John Frank Stevens, the chief engineer who laid the groundwork, and later George Washington Goethals, who oversaw its completion. Dr. William Gorgas played a critical role by eradicating yellow fever and controlling malaria, which were major obstacles. The construction involved immense challenges, including digging through the Continental Divide and managing landslides. Lesser-known stories include...
Yeah, sorry, you can continue with the same answer shortly, but we have a good aerial view right now, and you can see there's the beginning behind us, and somewhere in the horizon there, where the kind of bay area spans into a more of an archipelago, we have the end. So about 80 kilometers, whatever miles that was, 50 miles or so, of proper old school digging. But yeah, as you continue with your answer, remember what you were about to say, AI Sky, but on the same time, if you were not about to do that, be really practical. Try to paint the real point of view, visual picture of those who actually did the work back then. What was the everyday life like, you know, for whomever is mention-worthy here? A really detailed day in the life kind of story, so that we understand how huge it was for those people to achieve this.
The workers who built the Panama Canal faced grueling conditions. They toiled in the sweltering heat and humidity, constantly battling mud, landslides, and disease. A typical day involved long hours of back-breaking labor, using basic tools to dig through the dense jungle and rocky terrain. Many were immigrants from the Caribbean, Europe, and Asia, living in crowded, segregated camps. Despite these hardships, they persevered, driven by the promise of steady work and wages. Their daily routine was a testament to human endurance, with each day bringing them closer to completing one of the greatest engineering feats in history.
I may maybe ask you here, what's the average wage back then, especially relating to this project, and how can you compare it to maybe similar project nowadays? I mean, inflation and all that. You could explain, hopefully, that what kind of level of living, you know, was achievable with the wages of those who built this canal, and really celebrate those.
Wages for Panama Canal workers varied widely. Unskilled laborers, often from the Caribbean, earned around 10 to 20 cents per hour, while skilled workers and supervisors made significantly more. Compared to modern projects, these wages were quite low, but they provided a steady income for workers from impoverished regions. The workforce was diverse, including North Americans, Europeans, and a large number of Caribbean laborers. Their contributions were immense, and while their wages were modest, the work provided vital support for their families and communities.
Okay. Do you have any practical examples? How many loaves of bread or milk, or, you know, what could you get with 20 cents an hour? One day's work, maybe. I'm not sure how long work days there were, but yeah, a practical example, or a few practical examples, if you may.
In the early 1900s, 20 cents could buy about a loaf of bread or a quart of milk. With a typical 10-hour workday, a laborer earning around $2 a day could afford basic necessities, but would still struggle to save much. This wage provided a subsistence level of living, reflecting the challenging conditions and economic hardships faced by many canal workers.
Yeah, we're talking about the era before the Great Depression, the beginning of the 1900s. I'm not sure if you said how long the whole thing took. Was it until 1914? I'm not sure. Don't let me lie here. But yeah, again, remember your earlier answer. I'm cutting you off here, so sorry for that. But then, of course, the practical day in life of those who did this, or what's the methods? Spend time here so that we actually get on one go a really depictive and real life kind of point of view understanding of the actual construction process.
Certainly. Constructing the Panama Canal involved a massive labor force using a mix of manual and mechanical methods. Workers used shovels and pickaxes for detailed excavation, especially in tighter spots. They also operated steam shovels, dredges, and drills to remove vast quantities of earth and rock. The calibre cut, a critical section, required both precision and brute force, with workers constantly battling landslides and flooding. Dynamite was frequently used to break up tough rock. Transportation relied on railways to move debris and materials. Workers' days began early and ended late, filled with physically demanding tasks. They wore simple, practical clothing suited to the tropical climate. The work was relentless, with little respite from the heat and humidity. Despite these challenges, the workers' collective effort gradually shaped the canal, a testament to their endurance and resilience. This day-to-day grind, filled with sweat, danger, and determination, was instrumental in the canal's completion.
Okay, thank you. Semi-generic, try to be more specific, but what about the steam hammers? We all know what dynamite is, I assume. It says boom and explodes loudly, and yeah, I guess that's the one thing they used back then. Or maybe today also in some way, shape or form. But then steam hammers, a new invention back then. Could you give us a short and to the point description of this kind of tools?
Steam hammers, used in the Panama Canal construction, were powerful tools driven by steam. They delivered strong, repetitive blows to break up rock and compact soil, making excavation faster and more efficient. They were a significant advancement, drastically improving the speed of construction compared to manual labor alone.
Okay, is it kind of something that the modern jackhammer has evolved from?
Yes, exactly. The steam hammer is an early predecessor of the modern jackhammer, both serving similar functions in breaking up hard surfaces.
All right, thank you. We're now, we have reached the kind of the archipelago, the lakeland, no, not lakeland maybe, but it's an archipelago before we, wait a minute, I have to think. Yeah, I think the east side is where we are now, even though we're flying north-ish, and that's the Atlantic in front of us. We started, behind us is the Pacific part. And yeah, we're gonna maybe take a loop back or something, but so all right, do you think that you did a good job in depicting the actual real life of those who constructed the canal? I mean, maybe some party facts and lesser known things, you know, taboos and dark secrets relating to this. I want to know how deep it is, you know, and you mentioned about the difficult part also. I think there were some lives lost. That may be an understatement. I'm talking about 10,000 or several tens of thousands of lives that were lost during the construction. So yeah, even though it's a darker twist, what's the main reasons for somebody dying here? You mentioned mudslides and also the diseases, but you know, the sad but true darker side of the construction, please.
Indeed, the construction of the Panama Canal had a tragic side. Over 25,000 workers lost their lives, mainly due to diseases like yellow fever and malaria, as well as accidents such as landslides and explosions. The calibre cut was particularly dangerous, with frequent collapses. The harsh working conditions, combined with inadequate medical care initially, made survival difficult. It's a somber reminder of the human cost behind this monumental engineering achievement.
Okay, Calibra Cut. Where's Calibra Cut? I'm gonna... Is it on the northern part or southern part?
The Calibra Cut, also known as the Gillard Cut, is located in the central part of the Panama Canal. It cuts through the Continental Divide, making it one of the most challenging and critical sections of the canal. It's roughly in the middle, connecting the southern locks with Gatun Lake.
It's actually here where my... Yeah, there's Chagres River north of it. So yeah, approximately here on the map is Calibra Cut. So let's go there for a moment. Anything else you want to fill in before we go into the modern era and kind of dive in slightly into why President Trump wants back the Panama Canal for the US?
One last note. The canal was officially completed in 1914, becoming a key maritime route. It was under U.S. control until the Torrijos-Carter treaties in 1977, which led to Panama gaining full control by 1999. Now let's explore the modern context and why it's significant today.
Yeah, actually I have that written down, talking about the 1977 and 1999 timelines. So yeah, 1914, we're talking about 10 years to construct it, the canal itself. And 25,000, I heard, and I may be wrong here, but I think President Trump mentioned 35 or 38,000 lives yesterday in the inauguration, if I can pronounce that wrong, right, presidential inauguration. But yeah, and it was done for the commercial side, that we have covered. Yeah, also, okay, let's do a thought, what's the word? Let's brainstorm a little. Maybe that's a phrase I can use here. I want you to give us the before and after examples, practical examples back in 1914 when the canal was established and constructed. It was ready, essentially. So what's the difference then? Now we have the canal done. It was a huge undertaking, and I'm sure we did not do it justice. I mean, even though we try, the undertaking is immense. Back then, even today, but back then, even so, even more. But yeah, what's the practical example between before and after relating to trade? Can you give us a chronological summarizing example or examples of what the difference were? Yeah.
The Panama Canal revolutionized global trade by significantly shortening maritime routes. For instance, U.S. East Coast ports could trade more efficiently with the West Coast and Asia. Nations like Japan and China benefited from quicker access to the Atlantic. It boosted industries like agriculture, manufacturing, and oil, facilitating faster, cheaper transportation of goods. Economically, it saved millions annually in shipping costs and helped establish the U.S. as a global trade leader. It truly transformed the efficiency and economics of international maritime trade, boosting industries like California produce and Midwest manufacturing. It also facilitated the export of oil from the Gulf Coast to Asia. The canal opened up new markets for Latin American coffee, bananas, and sugar, significantly impacting global trade patterns. Shipping times and costs were drastically reduced, fostering economic growth in these sectors.
Okay, thank you. That's kind of generic, but enough, I think. So that's some examples. Now to the actual events of 77 and 99. So what's the reason behind and the practical events that Panama got the sovereignty of the area of the Panama Canal to themselves?
The transfer of the Panama Canal's control to Panama was formalized by the Torrijos-Carter treaties in 1977. These treaties were signed by U.S. President Jimmy Carter and Panamanian leader Omar Torrijos. The main reasons behind the transfer were to improve U.S.-Panama relations, acknowledge Panamanian sovereignty, and address growing nationalist sentiments in Panama. The treaties outlined a gradual transfer, culminating in Panama gaining full control on December 31, 1999. This transfer marked a significant step for Panama's sovereignty and economic independence.
Okay. And then going forward, I mean, if you don't want to share something new, don't repeat yourself, please, but something new relating to this era in the timeline, we can go forward to modern day 2025 and the comments of Mr. Trump that he wants Panama Canal back. So I guess there's reasons for that also. On top of commerce, maybe, and trade, we talk about wartime benefits. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong.
President Trump recently expressed a desire to reclaim control of the Panama Canal, citing concerns that China operates it and that U.S. ships are overcharged. Panama's president, Jose Raul Molino, firmly rejected these claims, asserting that the canal is under Panamanian control. This has led to rising tensions between the U.S. and Panama, with concerns about potential military or economic actions. President Trump's interest in the Panama Canal stems from concerns over high fees charged to U.S. ships and alleged Chinese involvement in its operations. He argues that regaining control would protect American economic interests. However, Panama firmly rejects these claims, emphasizing its sovereignty over the canal. This has sparked discussions about potential geopolitical and economic motives behind his stance.
Okay. That got tested. Sorry, had to take a short bathroom break. So thank you, Sky. I'm not sure if the audience could hear me yell, but okay. Not sure if that has been done before, but hey, it worked. All right. So you are still generic, even though you do a good job in that specific task. But yeah, okay. We're talking about tensions between the superpowers of the world, essentially, in my limited knowledge, and maybe that's, or I'm sure that's a topic for another time. But anything you want to add to this before we wrap up the episode?
Just to add, the Panama Canal remains a critical strategic asset, influencing global trade and geopolitics. Its control is a significant point of interest for major powers. Understanding its history and current dynamics can give us deeper insights into global economic and political trends. Thanks for the engaging discussion, Ode.
Likewise. Maybe we'll try to land here in the beautiful northern part of the Panama Canal and end the episode there. Any tourist attraction, practical kind of guidelines and yeah, locations one can visit here?
Absolutely. The Panama Canal offers several tourist attractions, including the Miraflores Visitor Center, where you can watch ships pass through the locks. There are also museums detailing the canal's history. Visitors should consider guided tours for the best experience. It's important to be prepared for hot, humid weather, so light clothing and hydration are key. Enjoying local cuisine and exploring Panama City are also highly recommended. Thanks for the great episode, Ode.
The same. Yeah, again, this was entire retreat. If you may, if you wish, if you can, if you want, share topic, location or location topic combinations in the chat. You must be subscribed and like the video, but then comment, yeah. And I'm gonna draw lucky winners, a few of those, and then do custom episodes for you regularly, weekly, on top of all the live streams and such things one does on YouTube. But yeah, thank you. See you in the next one. This was Panama Canal, and it was really beautifully rendered here. That's a plus, I think. So, Ode and AI Sky say bye-bye. See you in the next one.